of background noise. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'll take probably 5 seconds to just. My name is Shashi Mandapati. I graduated from NITIE in '97, and I'm right now based here in the Princeton area of New Jersey. That's all I'm going to say about myself, because our guest today is such an illustrious, fantastic, interesting person that we should not spend even a second, talking about anything other than Meer and his work. Right. So that would be the focus of our discussion. It'll be a very informal chat. This is not going to be any major interview session or anything like that. It's more of a discussion. But I'll just maybe the first few minutes I'll just give a little bit of an introduction into what Meer has done, and after that we'll open it up for questions. So look, Meer graduated from NITIE, and then he joined the Mafatlal group in the corporate planning and strategy division for a couple of years in Bombay. And then he moved to the University of Maryland here in the US. And then he lives here in the Washington, DC area, a couple of hours drive from where I live. The reason I say all that is because that just shows that, at least as far as that journey is concerned, he's not very different from many of us. So many of us have had a similar path. But that's where that similarity train comes to a abrupt, almost like a screeching halt, because I think what Meer has done afterwards, I don't think any person from NITIE, at least none that I'm aware of, has done. He went on to produce, actually conceptualize and co-produce and act, because he has a major part in that movie as well. A movie called Padamati Sandhya Ragam, and for the sake of the non-Telugu speaking audience, we'll call it, Meer, if it's okay with you, we'll call it PSR. Okay. So he went on to conceptualize and co-produce and also acted in this movie. This movie was no ordinary movie. It is a cult movie. It won a couple of dozens of awards, both national and international. It was a co-production between the US and India. It won the Filmfare Award for the best movie for that year. 1987 is when it was released. The Andhra Pradesh government also has a very prestigious award called the Nandi Award, which the Jandhyala Garu, who was the director and the script writer, got it for his script writing. So very well acknowledged film. And I can share a little bit of a personal story about this movie. This was we used to live outside of Andhra. We used to live in Nagpur, and every year we would go to our grandmother's house for the summers. And Andhra has a very strong, vibrant cinema culture, as you all probably know. So we used to go to this place called Nellore, which is on my mother's side, 100 miles from north of Madras. And every evening, the whole plan used to be, which movie do we check the box on? Padamati Sandhya Ragam was the big thing at that point in time. And you know how difficult it is to get tickets. So one of my cousins actually went for the matinee show and stayed till he could get the tickets for the evening show, and then brought it back for us. I didn't know you, Meer, at that time. Life would have been so easier. But anyway, so we went and watched. And this is where you'll see how profound of an impact that movie had on people. I actually called my sister, who lives in Bombay. She's older than me by 2 years, just to brag that, hey, I'm talking to the producer of Padamati Sandhya Ragam PSR. And do you remember that movie? I asked her. She told me the whole movie. In fact, she even played out some of the scenes, saying that, remember how this happens? And of course, the songs, they were so such beautiful songs and all that. So that is the kind of impact that this movie had on the cinema-going audiences of that time. So with that, let me pause and ask Meer. Meer, we'll talk about PSR a little bit more later, right now. But before that, I wanted you to sort of touch upon, how did art and theater come into your life? When did that rendezvous happen? I know you started in Gunter, went to Warangal. From Warangal, you came to Bombay. So take us back to those days in Gunter, Vijayawada, and Bombay, and how art and theater sort of came into your lives. And then we'll come to PSR later.
Excellent. Hey guys, before I answer that question, I tell you, it's great to be here. And thanks for this invite. I feel like I'm talking to myself right now because I am like you, I was like you. And the answer to your question, I tell you, is in the creation of this group itself, Lambda. So we just said in the beginning, Mr. Agrawal, he just hit upon the right thing. We were all engineers, we were cream of the crop at that time. When we started this, when I joined NITIE, only 25 people. Think about that. We were probably 99.99% percentile, in thousands of applications. At that time, maybe 10 or 20,000 applications. We were good academically. We totally were focused on studies. But then right from my engineering days, a part of me was always, doing something on the stage. Dramas, I used to act and write and direct. If I am the main lead, my friend would direct, or if I direct, he would take the lead role. So dramas and writing and literature, singing were all part of me. But of course, little bit subdued. But when I came to NITI, padhai kaun karta hai? We had more fun than studying, at least for me at NITI. People ask me, how the hell this guy is here? I never seemed to be like interested in studies, but I did okay there. But NITI gave me, some more time to think about, hey, what do I want to do with my life? The very idea that I should make a good film came in NITI actually in my second year in hostels. I was just chatting with some of my classmates then. All of a sudden, I got that thought. I mentioned it, and it was, some thought I was just kidding, some thought that I had gone crazy. But that thought stuck with me. Then when I came to USA, I was missing India a little bit, India culture. So the best thing to do that is what? To put together a friends, and like attract like. And I attracted the folks who were in US, Washington, DC, who were on stage. And then I got together with them and we started doing stage again. And we ended up actually staging several plays. A lot of them in Telugu, even though, I was fairly national with all friends, but the native language was Telugu. So we started playing Telugu stage plays, the association there, and then we found yourself in a spot where somebody said, "Chote chote stage plays chodo yaar, kuch acha kaam karte hain." There's something dhasu. So we took the subject of Sri Krishna Deva Raya, who was a king, a very well-known king at one time. He was also art lover, poetry lover. He was not only king, but he is a king of culture also. So he wrote so many poetries and so many kavya, so epics. But anyway, we put his stage play, 3 hour stage play, about 50 artists on the stage. Like Sri Krishna Deva Raya had like 8 poets, Asta Diggajalu. Then he had a fight, he had 2 wives, and his story was very inspiring. So we took that up. One of us wrote it, and I was selected to be the lead role, Sri Krishna Deva Raya, in that. And it was a major production. We took 6 months to produce it. So then what happened was it came in newspapers all over America, all over Sri Krishna Deva Raya. Somebody said, wow, this is amazing, blah, blah, right? That article actually even reached the film industry. Then after that play, in one party we were celebrating. I think I spoke to one of the key characters from that play. And then I said, Shastri Garu, his name was Shastri. He ended up becoming my partner in production of this film, Shastri Garu. He was 25 years senior to me. I was less than 30. And I told him, hey, no matter how many stage plays you produce, the shelf life is almost zero. After the play, everything goes away. All we have is a video and some pictures. Why don't we make a good film? And he said, exactly. That's exactly the thought I had. And I said, wow, I found my partner in crime, partner in success, partner in arts, right? So he and I started talking, and then we formed a core group of people who were going to be the backbone of this film. From the group who was on stage with me in Washington, D.C. At that point in time, I acted in several, directed and written plays and all that. To me, this was just a fun exercise. That's why we got started. I hope I answered that question. Passion is what has, inspired me to do something other than just profession.
Passion and talent. Please don't underplay that. You're an extremely talented. You talked about Krishna Deva Raya. Not just people say that he had the eight poets in his, but he himself was probably in a league of his own. And particularly if you read things like Amukta Magada. So anyway, coming back to Padamati Sandhya Ragam, PSR, I just wanted to give a thumbnail sketch of the movie for those who are not from Andhra and who may not have seen the movie, right? So the plot is as follows, right? So there is an orthodox, fairly conventional couple with a daughter. The daughter is her name is played by Vijay Shanti. So they come to the US, and they come to the US on the invitation of their younger brother, the dad's younger brother. They come to the US, and it's a culture shock for them. So this movie actually has a good retrospective value because it shows the way Indian diaspora lived in the US, probably in the 70s or 80s, because that's when the film is set. The huge retrospective value. So this family lands in the US, and the daughter who's probably 18 or 20 at that point in time falls in love with a neighbor who is an American, a Christian. And the religion is important because a lot of discussion later happens on what is more important, human relations, human bonds, or religion. Without underplaying any religion, I think this movie did a fantastic job of playing out the preeminence of human relationships and the human bonds and how they are more important than mere religion. But the movie at no point in time underplays or does not do anything negative against any of the religions. So it was a very well produced, very sophisticated, artistic venture. Then eventually they get married, and of course the whole movie happens in a flashback. So I'm not going into all of that, but that's the overall outline of the movie. So Meer, a question here. It was made on a very shoestring budget, seems like, because those were the days. 87 for those Andhra movie. They were blockbusters. People like Chiranjeevi were very big. Okay, so the movie scene was dominated by blockbuster movies. But this was not one of those movies. This was not a movie where you would spend in millions of dollars. But still, you managed to attract stalwarts of the industry. So first of all, Vijay Shanti was already a big star already at that time. She had already acted in movies with some of the other big stars. S.P. Balasubramaniam played both he wrote the songs and he also gave music for this movie. And then of course Jandhyala Garu, just for others to know, Jandhyala is a screenwriter and a director, very similar in his style to, let's say, Rishikesh Mukherjee in the Hindi, subtle comedy picked from everyday life, not the slapstick kind. But in terms of his impact on Telugu cinema, I would equate him with someone like a Javed Akhtar. The kind of impact Javed Akhtar had on Hindi cinema, Jandhyala Garu had the same impact on Telugu cinema. So how did you manage to bring these superstars into your production with barely any budget, right? So please tell us about all of that.
I think the two things, to answer your question, first thing is, this is just me. If I do something, I want to do it right, the best possible manner. If not, don't do it. Why waste time? So we said we don't want much out of this movie except satisfaction. We want to be able to feel कि हमने एक अच्छा movie, अच्छी movie बनाई है, right? Good movie. So we looked at who are all the. See, I had this passion. I was on stage, but I didn't make any films, no film connections. I had a vision, right? In industrial engineering, what do? We have a vision, and we try to convert it into a reality, most efficiency. That's what we learned, right? Best value. Get the best value. We were not super rich. At that time, Chiranjeevi movies were going for something like 2-3 crore rupees. And we made it in a shooting budget, 250,000, only 25 lakhs. The dollar, believe it or not, was equal to 10 rupees at that time. So, yeah, it was a low budget, but we got the value. Value is the key of industrial engineering, right? So Vijay Shanti, I talked to Vijay Shanti. Vijay Shanti was competing with then people like Suhasini, Radhika. She was still not number one. So I still remember I told her, if you do this movie, you will be separating yourself with all of them. This is the first movie to be produced in America. First Telugu movie to be completely shot in America. Think about that. The hero is going to be an white American boy. And what else do you want to put you at number one? And that's it. And that's it. She got it. And her manager was very cooperative. We got her in the bag. So like this, at every position, we try to think value-oriented thinking. That's what NITIE teaches you. If it is not going to be useful for the project, don't do it, and do it efficiently. Never lose sight of what you're going to do. We did not want to compromise anything. We didn't keep the stars in these guys in 5-star hotels. We all rented houses, and believe it or not, hero of the film, we got him for $250 a month. That's all he needed at that time to pay his rent. He did not have a job. He had a lot of passion. We selected him out of 100 folks from a talent agency. We told him we can't pay him much. He said, we asked him, what do you want? He said, as long as I get my rent and I'm good. And see, this is where I think, industrial engineering can make an impact, not just in industry, everywhere. I hope that answers some of your questions, those two.
No, it answered my question. I have a couple more questions, but at this point in time, I want to take a pause and actually open it up for the audience. Anybody who has a question, because it's a small group, if you could unmute and ask your questions, and then I'll come back to my questions later. So opening it up for others. I'm sure some of you might have seen this movie, and otherwise I've just given an outline of what the movie was about. So feel free to ask your questions.
So for a change, instead of students asking question, the teacher asks the question. I have not seen this movie, although I have been in Hyderabad for the last 23 years, but I have not learned Telugu, unfortunately. But looking to these discussions and earlier what Vivek talked to me, I am very happy the way you are responding to the question relating to industrial engineering, because I always believe that industrial engineering is a horizontal and it applies to any domain. And I will tell my other story after some time, that I feel that value, for example, is a term. Suddenly it become very popular after this. People have said, so value for the people, value for the money, and now we use different terms, giving a new experience to the people. Well, new jargons have been, but I can see you had those things very clear in your mind. So I am very happy that you have related industrial engineering, which I feel is everybody must learn, understand. Learn to everybody can learn, understand and relate to day-to-day life in any of the domain. So it's not really a question, but it's an endorsement of my thoughts which you have given. So thank you for that. I can imagine what kind of things you must be handling. Yeah. So congratulations. I wish if I get I don't know whether a dubbed version of that, we'll see. And of course Vijay Shanti is a big big. So we know about all that. Although I've not seen. So I see only Telugu dubbed movie, but which are very different. So I'm very happy and nice to know you. So carry on, please. So I don't have a question, but I had just interruption just to endorse this point to other people who are listening that industry is not only about industry. It can be anything. So, and today we say even the religion is an industry because you want to grow, you want to give more value to the devotees. So it fits everywhere. So I'm very happy on that. So congratulations and nice meeting you. So we can have interaction more later on. I miss you in NITIE, but maybe now we can catch up. Yeah.
Professor
Please
Saab,
go
if
ahead.
you're still in NITIE, are you still in NITIE?
No, I joined NITIE in 1984 April and left in 97 September.
Okay.
So I was there for 14 years. And I was probably one of the very few or almost one or two professors who was very keen in cultural activities. Okay. So normally professors are very dry, but me and my wife both are very, very musically inclined. And we were very popular, and anybody like people like Shashi may not, I don't remember Shashi, but people like Vivek and Rajiv, they were like that. They can come to my house anytime, even in the night, whether I'm there or not there. If they want tea, they will get tea. They can open my fridge and take. So those kind of things has happened. So my relationship with the team, as I said, when we joined, there were only 25 people. So first year, second year, 50 people. So residential, a very close community. And then gradually, of course, the number increase. But my life in NITIE is very, very key to my whole life. It's a part of my life. So anything to do with NITIE, I'm always there. That's the way.
All right. So
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from the audience?
Any any other movies you did thereafter? Like, what was the journey after? Like, I mean, obviously, I have not seen the movie. I don't understand the language. I follow that industry a bit because, like Chiranjeevi and his son and all of the. I mean, I get to know those stars quite a lot. So what I wanted to understand was like this was one thing which was a passion that you had. So you got something done. It became a success. And what happened thereafter? Like, are you still into it? Are you still producing movies in that language or otherwise?
It's a great question, actually. I was became more well known because of this movie, but before that and after that, I did several things. Like we organized a 30-city tour of SP Balu throughout America. The very first music tour of SPB was organized by me and my partner Shastri Garu. Very well received. I've been writing plays. As far as the movies is concerned, a couple of times I came together with some groups who wanted to make a sequel, but we didn't. Synchronization nahi hua, wavelengths. I had a very specific idea about this film. And specific genre, the tone, certain dignity, certain message, some humor, all those things. I wanted to make a sequel with those ingredients, but people, were dragging me in multiple directions. Sono Sood ko hero lagao. Sono Sood, we're not going to. Why Sono Sood? Because this is a favorite of one of the ladies, wife of one of the financiers. I said, that's not how we make movies. Pehle script, vision, characters. If the Sono Sood fits the character, Sono Sood ko leke aayenge, but we won't start movie like that. So some of those kind of thought processes I had in some of these groups who wanted me to be part of the movie. We came very close, But then I got out of it because, like I told you, I hate failure. Whatever I do, we want to do it the best possible fashion. Having put our best exercise, best foot forward, if it fails, no worries. But starting May, I did not want to compromise. So that did not happen. So I actually started writing the script myself for a sequel. We call it Maro Sandhya Ragam. Maro Sandhya Ragam means another PSR, another Padamati Sandhya Ragam with similar theme. And 80% of the storyline was done. And in fact, we even recorded another song. See, PSR has a very unique stuff, lot of first. The first Telugu song ever recorded in the history of Telugu film industry in USA was Vibare Ramarasam, which became highly successful, well received. Even today, Sriram Navami channels, give that song out. We feel proud of it. We wanted to do something that we will again feel proud of. Otherwise, क्यों करना है? Bundle movie तो बहुत से लोग निकालते हैं. We don't have to produce another bad movie. But anyway, I started writing the script. Me and my partner Shastri Garu were interacting and developing characters. And he passes away in that movie. His character dies. I become an old man. And then the story continues. We have a slight connection with Padamati Sandhya Ragam. But again, make a new movie with the fresh culture, today's technology, everything, the mindset of people, what is happening in the world. So with those ingredients in mind, we started putting that together. In fact, I even recorded another song, The Sentiment, because for Padamati Sandhya Ragam, the first song was recorded in USA. I recorded another song again in Washington, D.C., similar song with the similar touch. Then I came to Hyderabad to put together a music team. 80% of the script is done. So we were having some music discussions with one of my friends and music directors at that time. Then I came back and my partner passed away. Shastri Garu was like 70 at that time, 70, 75, he passed away. And before passing, we had a conversation, you cannot go. So he said, no, I have to go. I feel really bad. Last 2 weeks, I think my time is up. You need to make sure, direct this movie and do it for us. I'll be watching from there. This is a conversation he had. He felt like something he said, Abdullah, Meer Abdulla, people call me Meer. So he said, something is different last 2 weeks in the body. I feel like somebody is sucking the life out of me. So this is it. So I'm going. So that's how that had an impact on me too. Somebody with whom I worked so much, 20, 25 years projects. Padamati Sandhya Ragam is known, but there are so many other things we did together, right? So it took me a while, set back a little bit. So, but now I'm getting ready to bring few fresh, passionate people into the mix and then make a sequel to that movie. But even before that, I'm wondering I should make a small, independent film in America itself because I'm here. So that's another thought. So there are 4 or 5 scripts that I have in mind. I'm going to pick up one of them and make into a short, low budget again, American film. Again, it will be a fabric, both East and West, a little bit of a tinge of Indian characters may be there. But it will be a Hollywood type of movie, not obviously big budget. The hero who acted in Padamati Sandhya Ragam, he's still in Hollywood. He's a hero. He acted like in 35 films. He did our movie and took the VHS. They did not even have digital technology, no DVDs then. He took that VHS cassette, went to Hollywood. He struggled, but he has acted already about 35, 40 films as a hero. His name is Thomas Jane. We call him Tom in our titles, but his actual name is Thomas Jane. But anyway, so there are things going on. I think the bottom line is when we put together a project, when I put together a project with the right people, right feel, where you can give 110%. That's what I'm planning to do in next few years. That's where, to answer part of your answer to your question was, I got busy. After the Padamati Sandhya Ragam family, I started a management consulting company. I was getting busy with family, kids, and job, and not enough attention I was able to give for this. But the time is now, I feel, is coming. And so we will hopefully get together, put some folks together, real passionate people, and then do. I'm actually looking for some financiers, some talented folks who will basically bring finances, talent, good vision, and passion together. That's what I'm hoping to do now.
Okay. Meer, you touched upon music of this movie, and I just wanted to connect it. For those who are, even if you don't know any Telugu, if you're interested in Carnatic music, right? There are two songs in this movie. One is Pibare Ramarasam that Meer already mentioned, and the other one is Muddugare Yasoda, so it is sung by S. Janaki. Beautiful songs. You will enjoy it. You don't need to know the language. I mean, Muddugare Yasoda is an Annamacharya kriti, so there is no way you will not like it. I mean, these are extremely well done compositions. So please feel free to. They're available on YouTube. You should check out. Any other questions from the audience? Meer, I have a question, and this might be the last question, but I just wanted to ask, and we'll see if. Look, there are many like you who have passion, who have a talent. I don't count myself in that, but in the audience there will be many, who are. And I know that when I look at the posts that we see on NITIE Lambda, there are people who are so good at art, they're so good at writing, poetry, singing. So there are a lot of talents. What tips would you give them? Like 2 or 3 tips that you would say, hey, do these 3 things so that you can take your art to a level where you'll be proud of it, right? Or the world will be proud of it. So what are the tips that you would give them based on your journey?
Well, first thing is having that inner desire, I think, is number one. Most of us, when we have that inner desire of something, we put it away because of job, because of we want to make money. It's good to do it that way. But I think what defines you is really that inner desire. And don't underestimate yourself. All of you guys, I'm no different. I feel I'm just average. And sometimes in some areas, I'm less than average. I'm telling you. I could not speak in front of 3 people when I was in high school. I was shy. Naku natti vandedi. I was so scared. Even NITIE mein group discussion ke liye, I have to psych myself. Come on, guy, you can do this. You can do this. So I was so shy, but I had this desire. The only thing I did well is I did not let it die. So whatever is your passion, now that you're already reached certain stage in your life, you're successful engineers, executives, professors, don't let it die. And don't underestimate yourself at all. I'm telling you, we do that a lot. Oh, I'm not that good. You're not that good because you have not given yourself a chance. You have not given, you did not let it go. You have to take some risks. If you fail, it's okay. If you try and fail, that's better than not trying at all. That's what I used to tell. See, I was the youngest guy in the Padamati Sandhya Ragam crew. The lady who acted as my Vadina, Bhabi, she was my hero in several plays. And the lady who acted as my wife, She also was, a co-actress in some other movies. And Shastri Garu and I acted in so many. I directed him, he directed me. So these are all folks talented. But I said, we have talent. We have talent sometimes even better than what film industry has. We just do not have the opportunity to showcase it to ourselves. So the film industry is not going to call you and give you the role. Okay, they are going to promote their own people. So we have to do a project. We have to create a project to showcase our own passion, to showcase our own talent. So one tip I will just say is don't think you don't have anything, and nurture it. Nurture that passion. Now you have the career and profession also in your bag. So add this element that will give you more fun, more satisfaction, more sometimes mileage than what the career has given you thus far. It could do that, right? And the second is industrial engineering prepared you for everything in life. I think Professor Saab ne bataya tha, and that's what was my message also. I took a class in NITIE, the marketing professor, about 7 years ago when I visited there, and my friend and professor who retired there, Narayan Rao, KVSS Narayan Rao. He is a very well-known professor. He is a blogger. USA industrial engineering community follows him. You can check on him. I visited him. He introduced me to the dean then, and then we started talking. And all of a sudden, I am giving a lecture. I'm asked to give a lecture on how come an industrial engineer ended up becoming a filmmaker, and that film was, fairly successful. How did it happen? And here is what I told them. What is a film? First of all, you have to have a vision. That is strategy. We learn how to develop that. And number two, then what is a design? It is a script. You have a vision, you develop a script, then what is your coding or construction build? And that is nothing but dialogues. What is HR? Human resources, getting the right people at the right price. What is financial management? Finding financiers, developing a project costing, and making sure that you execute the project as per the budget. What is production planning? Planning shooting every single day. You have a big picture what you need to shoot. So many scenes. That is production planning. So what is marketing? Addressing your audience. What kind of movie would they like? Is your vision consistent with the current trend of movies, or are you doing something totally not going to be likable? What is selling, distribution? So think about that. You have learned everything that you need to be successful for a movie also. But we don't do movies because it's risky, it's not conventional. After this talk, actually, a couple of professors were telling me we should probably have a films division here. So they're thinking of buying some cameras and this and that. I don't know if they did it or not. But the point here is, I think, if you put your passion together, but if you put your skills behind that passion, you will soar. And I'm telling you, anybody can do this. If I can do this, take it from me. You can do this. You are actually cream of the crop. You have all the skills. You are already the cream of the crop. You got the best education. And then all you need is a determination to mix these two together. I did not do anything miraculous. I was passionate about the stage, and there's one thing in me, Mondivadu. Mondivadu means
stubborn.
Very stubborn guy. My mother used to say, "This fellow, whatever he thinks, he has to do it." And that thought, that simple thought that I got in while I was in NITIE second year, I never forgot. And I didn't think too much about it, but at the right time, I started giving the power, started thinking, and destiny, and brought some people to me, attraction. If you keep thinking about what you want to do, what you want to become, something happens out there in the world, in the universe. You start attracting opportunities. You start attracting people who are going to help you in your vision. In my case, that's what happened. When I say, I mean, hey, you did a great job, you made a movie, I say, no, we made a movie. By myself, I know I would not have been able to do it. I had a lot of passionate friends, my colleagues on the stage. My colleagues on the stage became my close friends. And then, friends became colleagues in film industry, became very close to Janjala Garu, Balu, so it's all, if you have the right vision, if you have certain integrity, if you have some passion, people will see. I irritated Janchala Garu so many times by making some suggestions. He was a stalwart of 250 films. He wrote 250 films, successful films at that time. Adavi Ramudu, Vetagadu, Sankara Bharanam. I was a nobody, right? But I never thought I was a nobody. I am here to do something. Yeah, even if I have to irritate him, I will. Nicely, I irritated him. He gave in. In fact, he wanted to make Padamati Sandhya Ragam with Balakrishna as the hero. And I said, no way. We are giving you a fabric of America. Why do we have to have an Indian, same hero, same songs, same running around the trees? No, sir. Let's have it fresh. Let's have a new American hero face, right? He got upon it. Credit goes to him. He's got a very fertile mind. And then he saw the intention where our vision was. So that's what it is. Don't give up. Don't give up, and link your skills and your passion together, and be patient. Have certain integrity. So many things came in between. So many people wanted to make this film more commercial. No, we don't want to do that. We had a very clear idea. I had a very clear idea, and I basically shared it with this group, a group of 5, as I call it. They ended up acting in that film with me, and they carried the movie, and together we did it. And the same thing you can do, guys.
Thank you very much, Meer. I think that was such an inspirational, closing. I'm sure there are many people in the audience who will get charged, okay, by your words, and hope we'll make progress. And one of the Vivek asked me to post the links for the 2 songs. I will on the NITIE Lambda group, and I'll also post a song for an SP Balasubramaniam English rap song that was part of this movie. It's a funny, so I'll post that as well. But thank you very much. I know it was 6:30 in the morning for you on the West Coast when you joined this call. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.